Oh boy, I was up late last night trying to read through the 1,800 pages of this new stimulus bill. Then I kind of passed out. But yes, there is a new stimulus bill out there that hasn't been passed yet, but this is a big one that a lot of people are actually focusing on. So I will be doing another video of the update of the actual stimulus part. I'm still trying to organize all the information. I don't want to rush that information out to you guys. I want to understand it, and in case anything changes throughout the week, so I should have an updated on the actual stimulus portion toward the end of the week. But for this video, I want to focus on student loan forgiveness that is incorporated into the stimulus bill as well. So it was interesting. I was looking through the table of contents and I saw, of course, like the stimulus that everyone was talking about, pensions, of how they're kind of failing. Interesting to know, by the way. But then I saw forgiving student loan debt and protecting student borrowers. So I'm like, are they actually going to do something with this? So I looked a little bit further, but if you actually want to look at this bill, I'll leave a link in the description so you could scroll through it. But I did see a couple sections that talk about private loans and also federal loans. So most people have like federal loans backed by the federal government, but some people have those private loans. So what is actually happening? Could you be getting $10,000? And a little secret bonus at the end, we're also going to talk about Navient, what they're going through, because a lot of people have loans through them. So stick around to see what's going on. So let's start with the private student loan, starting on page 1045. Forgiving student loan debt and protecting student borrowers. So on the next page, it says, in general, effective on the date of the enactment of this section until the end of September 2021, so if they actually pass this bill, the Secretary of the Treasury shall, for each borrower of a private education loan, pay the total amount due for such month of the loan, based on the payment plan selected by the borrower or the borrower's loan status. Limitations on payments. The maximum amount of aggregate payments that U.S. Secretary of the Treasury may make under what we just read, respect with an individual borrower, is $10,000 and no capitalization of interest. So what the heck does all of this mean? Well, like you probably know that before there was actually like forbearance for student loans that you didn't have to pay. So in this section, it was going over that during, like if you have any type of monthly payment, that the Treasury of the Secretary, other way around, Secretary of the Treasury would pay that balance. There would be no interest on it or anything like that. So I started thinking, okay, are they going to pay down like the actual total balance? Or are they just like keeping up with the monthly payments? So I tried to scroll through this legal stuff to research this a little bit further. So a couple pages later, it says mandatory forbearance. During the period in which the Secretary of the Treasury is making payments under a loan that we just mentioned before, the servicer of such loan shall grant the borrower forbearance as follows. A temporary cessation of all payments of the loan other than the payments of interest and principal of loan that are made under paragraph 1 for borrowers who are delinquent but who are not yet in default before the date of the Secretary. Alright, so anyway, I'm no legal expert, I'm no lawyer, so of course, I'm just a guy reading it just like you might read it. So for this section of the private loans, it seems like they're going to continue this forbearance process. You would have to go into forbearance and they would help you pay those payments supposedly up to $10,000. In addition, by the way, we have heard since the last CARES Act, which they don't care at all it seems, but they were talking, it was from mid-March to the end of September for this forbearance to continue. And it seems like they're going to extend that period of time, by the way. So if we go a little bit deeper into federal loans, what could they be doing on that side? Well, on page 1400, writing down balances for federal student loan borrowers. In general, no later than 30 days after the date of the enactment of the HEROES Act, so that's the bill they're trying to pass right now, the Secretary shall cancel or repay an amount on the outstanding balance due including the unpaid principal amount, any accrued interest, or any fees or charges. The federal student loans defined in what we just read before, whatever. So borrower equal to or less than $10,000 or the total outstanding balance due on such loans. So on the federal loan side, instead of just like putting you into forbearance, it seems that they would actually give you up to $10,000 to pay off those student loans. And I did a little bit more research a little bit further down the page. If you have multiple student loans, by the way, which a lot of people do, they would actually pay off the one with the highest interest rate first. Now, while doing this, I was wondering if there would be any tax consequences. Like, okay, they might pay your stuff off. How nice of them. What about taxes on your end? So on the next page on 1401 or wherever we are at this point, taxation. For purposes of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, in the case of any cancellation of repayment of indebtedness under this, okay, whatever. So exclusion from gross income. No amount shall be included in the gross income of such borrower for reason of such cancellation or repayment. So I wanted to include that because sometimes they might pay off your loan, so let's say $10,000. That could be seen as you're technically getting $10,000 worth of income. So do you still owe taxes on $10,000? And what we just read is that that's actually not the case. That's excluded. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but that's kind of what it says. So it seems as of now with private loans, it's more forbearance, and they're not going to just pay off the actual balance, but they can help you up to $10,000. With federal loans, they'll actually forgive up to $10,000. Now, this is a Forbes article, Stimulus Proposal $10,000 Student Debt Forgiveness. So forgiving $10,000 of student loan debt as coronavirus relief effort would alleviate a significant economic burden for millions of Americans. They're saying the average student loan is actually around like $32,000. It could be maybe even closer to $40,000 at this point. But if they're giving $10,000, they're actually trying to cut a third of the average student loan. How nice of them. Again, this is only a bill that the Democrats are trying to propose for the Republicans, because we could see right here that among new federal proposed relief initiatives is a new stimulus package, which shall pass the bill, whatever, could provide economic support for 90% of Americans. Though many claim this is highly unlikely, President Trump has stated he will only support the next relief bill if it includes a payroll tax waiver. So when they actually go on to actually approve this bill, they might actually adjust something, so whether this comes out or not is possible. However, maybe if they do include some type of payroll tax relief or assistance, they actually might pass the whole thing. I'm not too sure, but again, I'm not a lawyer. I will leave a link to this article in the description. They kind of go on to saying that they want to help people with student loans because for next generations, it seems like they will look up to older generations seeing like, oh, they're burned by all the student loan debt. Why should I take on student loan debt? So they're kind of arguing on that side. Whether that's right or wrong, that's up to you. And talking about student loans, I wanted to put this out to you because Navient is going through some stuff and many people have them. So I think you should know about it. Navient settles lawsuit, what it means for your student loans. I'll leave this link in the description as well. Navient is one of the nation's largest student loan servicers. Whether you knew this or not, they had a lawsuit against them. So you can read through this article. I'll try to summarize it for you. They were basically talking about how Navient wasn't helping students' best interests in hand. They were kind of just putting people into forbearance instead of showing them other options just so they could capitalize on more fees and expenses. It seems like there wasn't enough evidence of this. Navient will pay, though, $1.75 million to fund an independent organization that will educate borrowers who work in public service about the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Navient will also further train its customer service representatives, because I honestly heard they were pretty bad. So definitely, if you have student loans, educate yourself on all of the options that you have. Don't just trust someone because they tell you to do something. You have to look out for yourself, and this shows you exactly why. So not many people that I saw actually talked about the student loan portion of this bill, so that's why I wanted to put out quick for you guys. So let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns. Let us know down below. What do you think of this? Is it a good idea for private loans, federal loans, if they should do more, if they should do less, if you have any sucky experiences with Navient? So let us know what you think. I personally don't have any student loans, so I don't necessarily lean one way or the other, but there are definitely a lot of people struggling. There's a total, by the way, if you haven't noticed, over $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. So if they are trying to help people out, this could be a way. One issue that some people are thinking is, how is that going to affect us in the long term? If they actually do this, what is the cost to us? But that's if this bill actually passes. So we'll have to keep updated and see what happens going forward. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates, because there's a lot going on right now, and we'll probably hear more as the week goes on. So thanks so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one.